Hello everyone and welcome to PartinG versus INnoVation, another series from the Afreeca World Blitz. As we have to the top left hand side, our red Protoss player is PartinG, and to the bottom right, our blue Terran player is INnoVation. We've cast a few of these best of threes already. I just want to preface this one by saying, trust me guys, I'm trying to find some good PvZs to cast. I know everything I cast has a Terran in it lately, but honestly, all the good series just seem to be TVPs and TVZs. Like, I don't find any like ZVPs. Like, I don't find anything like we casted Sue versus Patience recently, but other than that, it's like I've got like there's no like Sue versus Zest or anything like those in these replay packs, and so we're just currently focusing on a lot of Terran games. But trust me, we'll make up for it as soon as I find some cool ZVPs. We'll definitely cast some for you all. So. Just a little, wanted to give you a little heads up because I get the feeling some people might be like, "Wardy, you keep casting INnoVation." Well, INnoVation gets us lots of views, but also I do try and find other matches. It's just we're kind of limited at the moment. Waiting for another replay pack to come out. Hopefully, we'll get something different this week. Of course, if you do enjoy liking this video, do consider liking, commenting, and of course subscribing to continue to push out the YouTube content. PvT then for this best of 3, and we do see PartinG just a little bit of nibbling with this initial probe. Obviously PartinG coming back to the game a few months back now and really has had some mixtures of successes and failures, and excited to see what he can bring out because I feel like PartinG always was kind of this very aggressive player, this player who kind of always believed he could micro himself into amazing positions, and PvT right now really feels like it should should be a matchup which excels for PartinG because he is absolutely the player who should be able to use units aggressively and to get into good positions and stuff like that. So as this probe nibbles away at this SCV, quite a bit of damage being done. We're going to be seeing another SCV popping down a command center in the natural expansion. Reaper coming over to chase down that probe. And it is going to be killed off. So that probe actually stuck around a long time to put some damage out. INnoVation going to go for a super early low ground bunker. Just making sure he's going to be safe here. I mean, the Adept is chrono boosting. It is going to be shading across the map, so PartinG is looking to apply pressure on the low ground. But already having that bunker up really shuts down a lot of what can be done. It gives you a safe haven for some units to sit in. And yes, units can definitely get past that bunker and still be annoying, but you shouldn't really lose units here trying to defend. And once you have pushed the units down to the low ground, they should stay there. There shouldn't really be much of a way for them to keep on poking and prodding after that. So yes, the Adept will get in. Yes, it can chase this SCV off of the command center. I like this as it goes far enough away. INnoVation gets back on the command center just for a few extra moments. Every extra little second will help. You can even save the SCV in the bunker there as well, as the Adept's going to shade out, and the SCV can get back to building. 2 Adepts together now, but there's also going to be a couple of Marines. And they're going to be hanging out in there. The Reaper jumped out of the bunker for a moment, looking as though it was maybe wanting to go scout. The Adepts are going to commit to this position. Well, I feel like with a couple of Marines, nice Reaper grenade as well. 2 more Marines just finished up, and they'll come in from the low ground. He'll lose an SCV here too, but I wouldn't say this is all too bad. Can he get the other Adept kill? This would be amazing if he did, of course. Now Reaper's going to get it low and will get the pickup. So that's nice. 2 Marines and an SCV for the 2 Adepts. It's not really bad for either player. Maybe it's a bit worse for PartinG here. He doesn't have as much back at home to defend the Reaper. It's not like he's looking to use those Adepts at a later stage. As you do see the Twilight Council chrono boosting out a blink upgrade here. So getting this up and ready to roll. As again, 2 gates just continuing up on that natural expansion. Robo facility in the main base as well. I'm just going to be seeing the sentry still patrolling up on the high ground. Stalker on the way out too. Viking building up on the starport, and a couple more SCVs coming down. A tech lab on the factory. This hallucinated Oracle is actually going to come in, and that's going to set off the Widow Mine. Well, hallucination is obviously just a bit of a scab, but obviously INnoVation sees it's a hallucination as well, so should know it's not actually a Stargate in play here. As we're going to be seeing these extra couple of gateways finishing up now. Robo, again, just about to complete as the Stalkers and the Blink. They're going to be able to take presence on the map here very shortly and start pushing across if they want to. Needs a few more than 2 or 3 though. Needs maybe another round of warpins, then he can get on the map and just have that presence, so if INnoVation starts trying to press across, those Stalkers can already start dealing some damage. Finally dropping down on the natural expansion. Mule's still mining their way. Love this. Mule just pulled away so it doesn't waste the minerals on its trip back. Mules generally do expire on their way back on their final trip, so obviously you waste 15 minerals that they've picked up. So by just sending the Mule AFK, it just means that you don't lose the minerals from your mineral patch without actually putting it back in the command center, because the minerals die with the Mule when it goes down. So it's a cute little something that you often see early in the game. When Terrans don't have too much else to pay attention to, they may as well just make the most out of their mules, right? So maybe you'll do it here, maybe he has one more trip left in him, this mule. I think this mule has one more trip left in him. And you can see he's actually just going to expire. As across the map, more importantly, a couple of probes going down, so a little bit of damage dealt as the two Widow Whines and the medevac do come in here. I'm just watching mules. Meanwhile, there's actually action happening. Great observing as always here on WardiTV. Marines and the Raven just going to be hanging out. The Raven obviously a good introduction unit to start being able to push across the map and to really create some presence in terms of, I mean, just those pushes become so much more deadly with a Raven. There's so much utility on that unit. Yes, it's hard to keep it alive against the Stalkers, but if it does get to the other side of the map successfully, it's probably going to have a pretty great time as these Stalkers coming around down to the bottom, ready to blink up into the main. So it takes a little bit of damage actually from these Marines which move over. Obviously the Raven gives you that detection. Stalkers just thinking where they want to go, maybe into the natural, but there's a siege tank there, so it's going to be a little risky. And in the end, PartinG just decides to stay put at the front door, doesn't decide to go blinking in anywhere. As that Nexus continues up on the third base, couple sentries set up on the natural. Charge still coming along too, and that extended thermal lens still ticking away on the Robo Main. 3 extra gateways will drop down, and still watching for all of those bio upgrades. And look to see the Stalkers on the low ground able to pick off a supply depot to the side. I mean, that's just INnoVation trying to wall off a little bit, and he'll still create a bit of a wall here, kind of in front of the siege tank almost, by placing the depot down there. So, again, little bits and pieces from PartinG, but mostly just sitting out the front and seeing just what he can get done, as we're going to be seeing more Stalkers coming down the bottom right. He's attacking into Colossus, obviously we mentioned that, and with +1 attack and the charge upgrade coming in as well. Everything continues to look pretty good for him here. I mean, nothing too crazy, right? But INnoVation, you've got to get ready for this push, man. It's 5 racks. There's going to be a big push from INnoVation, right? It's going to be 5 racks straight away. He's got a couple tanks mixed in here. He's got that energy on the Raven just building up, waiting for a fight to happen. Now, if he attacks in the next minute or so after Stim is done, it will be a full energy Raven. He'll have interference matrix he can drop on the Colossus. And this is why PartinG needs these Stalkers over here to begin with, be able to pick away at a few of these units as they begin to push across. Needs to make use of the saturation of it on the third base ASAP and get extra gateways up and running, which he is starting to do as well, because he needs all of that to be able to survive this incoming attack. That's one medevac brought low and then a blink away. What else can PartinG kill here if these blink Stalkers will come in? Loses a Stalkers, he gets a Marine, make that 2, but now really needs to start blinking. And will do so. INnoVation actually starts picking off these rocks just in case there's a force field here, which there is available. You can see PartinG positioning in the middle of the map just says, yeah, you know, I've got force fields, I can definitely buy some time for myself here. He doesn't actually want to fight, he just wants to slow INnoVation down because time is PartinG's friend. He's up 60 works to the 47. There's the force fields dropping down, and you can see PartinG themselves charge forwards, but they're pretty quick to pull away again. And these were not force fields cutting this army in half to take a fight. These are force fields straight up just blocking this army off from advancing further forward. So PartinG looking to buy time as INnoVation presses across towards the upper left-hand side. Bio unit's going to come stimming in. Zealot going to get picked off. Couple sentries taking some shots too. Tanks will siege up. Will not connect on anything just yet. A few more Zealots warping in here. +1 armor continuing up as well. And here we go with this army of INnoVation pushing down this ramp. Interference matrix dropping down. Actually hits a Stalker instead of Colossus. A little bit of a misplay there by INnoVation. Siege tank fire though, getting rid of the Colossus pretty quickly and continue to press through. It feels like INnoVation, well, he still has tanks to be able to push back those Colossus, and it feels like he has enough bio to make something happen too, but there is still no straight up answer to Colossus. Tanks are on siege here as these Zealots come running on forwards. No armor upgrade just yet, so they do melt that a little faster than you'd like, and it is a bit weird to see attack upgrade so early. I guess it is because of the Stalker count and the Colossus. He's not really as reliant, or meant to be as reliant on the Zealots, so that means when he does build Zealots, they don't do that much. These shield batteries, they had a bit of use put into them, but that'll be it, and that Disruptor goes down before it can connect as well. PartinG is in trouble as INnoVation stims up into the natural expansion. Colossus will fall, Stalkers are dropping, the tanks aren't even sieging up anymore, and this is going to be INnoVation picking up game number 1 in this best of 3. So INnoVation picking up the first game of the series here, and PartinG going to be, well, not looking so great. Everything was kind of set up well, you know, positioning all right, doing the right things in the middle of the map, but when it came to the fight, he still just absolutely fell apart, and I think a lot of it was he kind of fought with the interference matrices in play. I think a lot of the time when you have those interference matrices down, you're meant to back away and really avoid a fight because you're just missing a Colossus. I mean, again, the interference matrix, one of them missed, so it wasn't as bad for PartinG, and maybe that's why he fought, but obviously it didn't go well, so maybe that's something you could look at. Just because when you're fighting without that extra Colossus damage, you're still taking siege tank fire on the Colossus. And that's kind of the problem. You're letting INnoVation do all the damage he's meant to do, while not really changing up much yourself. Let's go into game number 2 and see what INnoVation has planned for us to try and sweep this 2-0, while PartinG, we'll see if he changes anything up going into that next game. Welcome back to game number 2 of this best of 3. To the top right hand side, our red Protoss player. This is PartinG, representing player 1. You can catch a lot of him in the China Team Championship at the moment. As his opponent to the bottom left hand side, the blue Terran from Team Reciprocity, we have got INnoVation. He's up by 1, and he's obviously just executed a very strong 2-base attack there in the first game. A very successful 2-base attack, as didn't really stutter or stall at all. I mean, it slowed down by a few force fields here and there, but even that sort of seemed planned and premeditated by INnoVation, because he didn't even have Stimpack necessarily for the initial start of that delay, so it didn't slow him down all too much. Pretty funky stuff as we go into this second game on New Repugnancy. As a map, it's that little bit larger. There's a little bit more freedom than Cyber Forest, which is very well, very much so dictated by all of those choke points, those ramps. On this map, you only really have the ramps up into the 3 bases, and also on the bottom side, there's a couple of ramps up into the bottom right and top left corners, which is interesting, but a lot of the action will take place through the middle of the map. Maybe later on, depending on expansion patterns, attacks through this pathway can come into play, but it's not like you're going to be, expecting a fight around here or anything. Like on Cyber Forest, you're in the middle of the map fighting up and down ramps to be able to push through the map. That doesn't happen at all here, really, on New Repugnancy. So it definitely allows for, a little bit more freedom in the center and for players to kind of take those engagements that little bit more easily. SCV coming along to the right-hand side, INnoVation moving into that natural expansion as the command center on the way up. Orbital command is about to finish out as well, so just going to be finishing up that orbital as the SCV comes into the main. Again, just a little bit of a scout, just looking to see what's going on. Reactor drops down on the barracks, and again, this Reaper here from INnoVation continues to just patrol at the front, back and forwards a little bit here. Bunker will drop down on the natural expansion too. Just getting all of this set up and running as we see the Stalker Chrono boosting out of the main base. There goes the Adept shading forwards. It's just going to be coming across the map to try to see what's going on. So Adept continues shade down to the bottom left hand side here, and we are going to be seeing the Reaper from INnoVation patrol in a little bit. Adept will shade forwards in the bunker. Coming up at the front right here. Adept going to hang out behind the natural mineral line, and again the Stalker from PartinG continues to come down to the bottom left, just looking to apply this pressure. Again, INnoVation with that fast bunker is not messing around at all. SCV's pulling back a little bit. I mean, they need to get in the bunker, I think, because that Stalker's going to start killing them if you're not careful. Oh, he's kept it alive by going behind the mineral line. It is going to work out for the moment. Wow, nice save by INnoVation. Finishes the command center, keeps the SCVs alive, and he sends the Reaper across the map to try and get some damage. This Adept will obviously be blocked with the deeper arrays, and I don't think PartinG plans on giving up this unit. There's nothing really to gain by going in here. At best, you kill a single SCV. It's just not worthwhile. There's that Reaper. Let's see what INnoVation can pick up on. Lots of space here on New Repugnancy. You can't just wall off and stop the Reaper from getting in. So one Stalker patrolling on the side is looking to try and keep it out, and it will do that job for now. Because this time the Twilight Council is going to have a very different use. A Dark Shrine dropping down. We're going to be seeing a Robo Facility dropping in as well. And we are going to be seeing the... well, I mean, this just continues to build up right here. Stalker from PartinG in the natural expansion. There's Stalker in the main base as well. And Adept and Stalker pulling back home. Let's see what the DTs can do then. The Robo Facility will give you that War Prison to move them around a little bit. Pylon down on the bottom. More Marines gathering up. And INnoVation, another SCV going to pop out from this here in the next few moments. Tech Lab about to finish up on the factory. Barracks will drop down as well. And that's going to be something they can jump onto. That Tech Lab in the near future. Maybe not going to be the starport which goes onto it initially. I mean, maybe by the time you build a Raven, naturally, then the Raven's done, the Barracks is done, you still get onto that Tech Lab in the end. I wonder if INnoVation is going to just try something very similar to what we saw in that first game. Be interesting to kind of see, repeat performance, and then obviously kind of see what PartinG deals, how PartinG changes up what he's trying to deal with here. PartinG did have to cancel the Dark Shrine, by the way. A scan from INnoVation revealed the Dark Shrine play, so he cancels it, and PartinG just going to be making the most of whatever else he can. This time we're actually going to watch the Widow Mine drop, which will actually go off on the probe and the assimilator, so no damage done there. And over here, we'll find a couple probes together. So it is still 2 probes killed. This time it looks like the medevac might get out alive as well, so a little bit of a better Widow Mine drop from INnoVation. This is kind of for as much as just kind of looking to see what's going on for the Protoss, as much as it is dealing damage. Yes, it's a little bit of mining time lost and a couple probes. There's a couple probes, but it's nothing too crazy, as there is that starport moving over to the side to build a reactor. The next barracks will jump on that tech lab now the Raven is done. As previously mentioned, you can see INnoVation is already just hunting for the potential of an observer out the front, so moving forwards a little bit as he is up on the 3 racks here. And now we get to that next stage where he decides, am I going to throw down a 4th and 5th barracks, or am I going to throw down a 3rd command center? And that's obviously the real kind of turning point compared to the last game. Perhaps if he throws down a 3rd CC and doesn't just commit to the 2 bases right from the start. As Blink on the way up in the back of the main, we're going to see a gateway dropping down to Robo Facility, getting this observer out, and we're going to be seeing that Forge dropping down in the natural as well. 3rd Nexus just over halfway done, and again all of these stalkers from PartinG heading down to the bottom left hand side of the map, looking to get into position. As Raven was actually a little bit exposed just then, so maybe an opportunity that PartinG just missed out on. Observer getting itself in location, maybe enabling that blink up. He wants that medevac, he will get it. Well, Marines will obviously chase those stalkers. Blink will be off cooldown in a moment. He's going to get 1 stalker for the cost of the medevac, and it's just the 1. Obviously a few more Marines going down as well. Not bad opening by PartinG, as he's able to get that medevac. Yeah, definitely like that. Actually lost 2 stalkers in the end. Also picked up a few Marines as INnoVation salvages the bunker and sieges the tank, and looks like he might want to push forwards here. I mean, Stim Combat and +1 is finishing. He is only on the 3 racks, so it's not a crazy amount, and he is getting ready to throw down the 3rd CC, so again, a lot less all-in than what he was in game number 1 here. So INnoVation, maybe he doesn't even push that far across the map here. Maybe he just kind of, you know, pushes forwards and pushes these stalkers back a little bit, kind of feigns pressure, forces PartinG to cut probes and invest into production, which he might not actually need. Shield battery continuing up as those couple of tanks going to siege bio units, probably wanting to press through these rocks here. So we're going to set up into that as tanks will unsiege again, bio down to the bottom side, and again those stalkers of PartinG setting up over on the far right as a single Marine comes through. Pylon going to be hit here by that Marine as well. And then we're seeing their stalkers be able to pick that medevac off. Colossus coming forwards, and here we go. Colossus already dealing a little bit of damage. It's a nice interference. Matrix dropping down as well. A couple of shield batteries about to finish up here too, and we are going to be seeing, I mean, there's attack in. INnoVation getting quite a bit done so far. And you see, Raven actually going to get chopped down while it still had energy, so missed out on potentially more interference matrices. Nexus is going to drop down. It's a nice little kill here, as we're going to be seeing the scan dropping down to tanks by units. Continue to pull back away then over to the left hand side, and just going to be seeing this army from PartinG down through the center. Blinking forwards, already a Marauder taking a little bit of damage. Bio units pressing through into the walls of this army, and Colossus nearly going down, but the Zealots will protect it charging through this. So while PartinG lost the 3rd base, he's making a pretty good stand with his army against the army of INnoVation. Problem is, without a 3rd base, and with a 3rd base, PartinG is in some trouble. So it kind of comes down to PartinG, what do you do now? I mean, he's long distance mining, he doesn't start a Nexus just yet. A single Marine will come in to kind of watch for those probes. I think PartinG's just going to go across the map and try and all in with this army. I mean, that is already a little bit painful here, as you can see one of these probes going down, other probes getting pulled in. Surrounding that Marine, well, it is 2 probes lost out, as the Nexus will drop here as well. So Nexus coming through, Temple Archives dropping into the natural expansion. I'm just going to be seeing this army of PartinG continuing to set up, moving across down to the bottom left hand side of the map. Bio units, siege tanks all ready to go for INnoVation, and a couple more Vikings coming into play. And so it's Colossus. This is, again, very committed from PartinG, because he really doesn't have much anymore. Yeah, he's getting a 3rd base, but he cuts so many probes for this too. It's kind of weird, because he's also going Templar Archives. Like, he's also getting set up into a follow-up. So, I mean, maybe just trying to get some presence with his army, but I don't see that really ending well, as he will laser this SCV line from the low ground. But INnoVation has the numbers to come across here. He's got Vikings as well to help with the Colossus. Yes, he doesn't have a ton of Vikings, but he's got a few to poke away at them, and that goes a long way already. Shields on one of them dropping down. the thing is, there's not really enough stalkers to protect the Colossus, right? So while the Vikings are going to back away for the moment, it's not, you know, in a larger fight, those Vikings would actually get a lot done, because you are just missing out the extra 6 stalkers or so to start one-shotting those Vikings and picking them off very quickly. We'll press them across into the main base in the next couple moments. I'm just going to be seeing as more Vikings show up, bio units as well. So you see a couple of Zords dropping down. SCV's already in quite a lot of trouble here, so taking quite a few shots, and 4 or 5 workers dropping. Marines able to come through and deal some damage, and just going to be seeing the Vikings will clean up the War Prism. So honestly, not that bad of a defense from INnoVation here. Oh, that one Zealot is 1 HP. Just needs an SCV to tap it. There we go. Well, I mean, it's a good defense from INnoVation. He gets rid of the War Prism. He stops the Zealots from doing too much at all. And now PartinG coming down in towards the natural expansion. Because once again, adding on a Disruptor, kind of what we saw in the last game as well. He switched into Disruptors after a few Colossus. INnoVation even has Ghosts on the way up, though. He's already got 3 of them in the army. EMPs could be absolutely deadly here. It's going to be seen a Stim army moving upwards. Ooh, we're just going to see the recall out. Well, the Vikings will just not pick off the Colossus, as PartinG obviously knows he's not in a position. He needs more Warpins. He needs these Storms to be able to get a lot done. Now INnoVation has EMPs to try and hit on something here. Here we go. First Storm is pretty good. It's only 1 Storm though, because the EMP then lands, and we are going to be seeing the Archon morphing in there. Those Zealots clumped up. Has to be careful. The rest of the High Templar clumped up as well. High Templar coming forwards. The Ghosts don't find that EMPs just yet. The Stormscape is the edge of the Vikings. A couple units wanting to stim up this ramp. Now we have 2 High Templar left. There's the EMP though. Now there's no more Storms, and there's a certain point. Well, he's going to be with no splash damage, because those Vikings are going to destroy the Colossus. 1, 2, and 3 go down quickly. I mean, here comes the Disruptor. Literally only 1, and it will get some damage on the siege tank and not much else. As those tanks siege up, INnoVation is up into the high ground and pushing down this army. Just excellent movement with the army here from INnoVation. Some well-placed timings throughout the series, and he's able to close this out 2-0, following up and just getting the counters that he needs, as PartinG was just a bit too far behind from losing that 3rd base. Good stuff from INnoVation as he picks up this 2-0, guys. Hey, we casted a Terran winning in TVP. Maybe the YouTube comments won't be full of Protoss is so OP. Because that's getting quite annoying. So, yeah, go INnoVation. Maybe saving us from some YouTube comments. Alright, guys, do comment down below, though, if you've got anything to say about this series or anything you want to ask. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching PartinG vs INnoVation. I'll see you guys next time.